Hello guys, here is a short video on the market forecast for the dollar index and Euro USD. I also have the GBP USD, and we're going to do as well with gold. So uh for a start, we're going to start with the dollar index. Try to get the direction of the dollar index so that it will help us to have an idea of where Euro USD, British pound, or any other foreign currency pair will likely be heading to. So let's get to the dollar index first. Now, looking at the dollar index, we see that starting from January 2023, we've been trapped in a consolidation all this while, right? We have been in a consolidation all this while, and the price hasn't break out of this zone yet. But we trying to looking at this particular chart now. All we can do is to trade price the way it is, mainly on lower time frames, because with this consolidation, the high time frames is not really the best. Uh, it's not the best at the moment to focus on, right? Because maybe for price to break out of this, it might take a couple of months, and if you just focus on the higher time frame, you might not be having a trade. So at this point, you will likely be looking at lower time frames to get some entries. But zooming closely, we could see that price for the last month, it took out the previous month and went up, closing bullish even above the 50% of the previous candle. So this alone gives us an idea that price might really want to go higher. But here for a confirmation, we will need price to take the previous candle's high. And if that happens, we will expect price to come right up to the high of the previous of the bearish month right here. Okay. If price takes the high of this candle, which is this is the monthly chart, so we'll expect price to come right up to this point and maybe furthermore right up to this area. Now, we would not really see on this time frame that we have reasons for price to come relatively higher, because we already have price which has filled this whole inefficiency, but it did not fill right up to the consequent encroachment. And here, looking at the 3 weeks time frame, looking at the 3 weeks time frame, we have a 3 weeks fair value gap slightly above the 50% of the above the consequent encroachment on the 1 month time frame fair value gap. So we could say that price might still want to come up right up to this point and fill this area. Now, also looking at the 3 weeks time frame, it seems very bullish as price had to close this. This is a flagship reversal, though not a strong one, because price did not close above the high of this candle. All right, so but that shows a little bit of strength, and already price has taken the previous 3 weeks candles high, and we could expect more higher prices to clear the high of the previous month, which is this one. So looking at this, this is the high of the previous month. Let me just put that here. We have our previous month's high. So if this is the previous month's high, it will be going down to lower time frame, expecting that if price clears the previous month's high, we will know that price will likely want to move higher to taking this buy side liquidity here too. All right. So let's see if price wants to take the previous monthly high. Okay. So we're going to be going down now to the weekly time frame to see how price is faring at this point. So we had this whole rejection because of this last up close candle, which was standing as our bearish order block. And last week we closed a contraction. In this case, zooming closer, we likely see that it's a bullish contraction candle. And because of that, we had a fair value gap right here, which we could say price might have want to come down, fill it before pushing higher, but we already seen a quick rejection here on the weekly time frame, which means price might want to move higher. But remember the condition we saw on the monthly time frame, that price must take the previous monthly high. All right, this previous monthly high before we know that it's going to take this last 2 months high before for higher prices. So just looking at this, we're having a contraction, and the contraction is yet to be broken. All right, it's just like price, you see price in a consolidation phase. Once price is in a consolidation phase, you are not supposed to be so quick to trade at that time, right? Just you can let it break out, all right? If it is breaking out as a manipulation, you will know that it's going to continue lower. But if the breakout is in line with the signal order flow, it's going to continue, and you can get your automated entries to continue higher. Okay, so just looking at what we have here on the weekly time frame, we had a contraction week, and this week, if we're expecting an expansion, we want to see price expand higher, take this high, take this one too, and maybe even right up to this point. Also, we could see that we have some relative equal highs here, right? We have some relative equal highs here, which could be standing like buy side liquidity. Okay, so now if this high is protected, which is the previous monthly high, if this high is protected, our first target will be what? This fair value gap here. All right, it will be this 1 week BC. Okay, if this high is protected, we're going to have price come down to the weekly BC. So we are being very flexible here. Despite the fact we want prices to go higher, maybe we're coming right up to this 3 weeks fair value gap. We still know that there's a potential that price might do something like this. Price might still play around here before it goes up. Or from here, it can still just go up, retest back, and then continue higher. Okay. So we just have to stay flexible at this point, knowing that overall we are trading in a consolidation from a higher time frame level. All right. So, but the fact that we have a contraction candle here, we will expect either an expansion to the upside. All right. The moment price takes the high of this contraction, price will be coming down here in more and more until it takes out this high, this equal highs, and probably come right up to this point. Okay, so let's go look at it on the daily time frame. Now, Monday closed a bullish contraction. We came right down to this point. I wasn't expecting price to take this low, which I expected it to be our invalidation. If price was maybe to close below 8, this would mean invalidating this other block here. But we have a nice rejection from there, and price is closing like a bullish contraction. Because of that, we could expect higher prices from here, at least to come take the equal highs that we spotted right here. So, and just looking at that, or to confirm the daily, we want to see price also take this previous daily high. If previous daily high is taken here, we will know that price will likely continue higher. Okay, previous daily high is taken. We want to see price continue higher to take these equal highs that we spotted at this point. So again, let's see how 4 hour looks like. Now, looking at the 4 hour time frame, price has already mitigated this last down close candle here, and we have this small fair value gap sitting at this point. We have this fair value gap here. We have this BC, and price had opened with a volume gap here. Okay. We have a small volume gap that price had opened with. So we have this very day. For us to be bullish, we'll either wait for price to give us a confirmation from this volume gap, or it comes right down to this fair value gap. So these are the two areas we're going to be looking for buy opportunities at. But if you have no buy opportunity, we're expecting a little bit more lower prices. But remember, for the daily to be bullish, we want to see price take out this previous daily high, right? If it does that, we'll see that that's going to be another breakup structure on a 4 hour time frame, and we could get entries from maybe around this point. Now, if this high is taken, this validates this candle to be a bullish order block, and then price can come back, retest it, and then we continue higher from there. Okay, so all indications, we are actually expecting higher prices on DXY, but I know a lot of people are also seeing this to be a bearish shift in market structure, and then they are also seeing this to be another block, right? But looking at this and with these equal highs here, I don't see this to be a very high probability order block, and coupled with the way the weekly close and the daily previous days close, somehow price might want to take these equal highs, right? But still, if price wants to go lower, we have invalidations, and for 4 hour we don't want to see price take this lower again, because if it happens, we've been having all this trend line liquidity here. Okay, we have all this trend line phantom. If that happens, price will likely clear all the trend line phantom right down to this sell side liquidity right down here. Okay, we have a lot of liquidity. This has been taken, so we have this equal lows here. If price takes out this low, okay, price takes out this low, then we're coming right the way down. Coming right the way down to where we remember we have a weekly fair value gap down here. So that would mean case price, that would mean price coming down to this point, right? So everything being equal for the dollar index, we will have also bullish, and we also have bearish invalidations. We as well have bullish invalidations. If price takes this low, then we'll be interested more in selling. Price should take previous daily high. We are more inclined to move higher. So that's for the dollar index. Let's try to incorporate this with Euro USD and GBP USD. All right, so looking at Euro USD coming from the monthly time frame, we could also see that price took out previous monthly high, and it managed to close slightly below slightly around the opening price of the 2 months. And the next month, this new month has opened with a gap. So previous months taken. Now we could say that we want to see price maybe come down to this fair value gap here, but the thing is, there was an SMT here that made price not to come down to this point, and though it has not been confirmed on the higher time frame, but price is gradually since still trapped in a consolidation, and also we are trapped in a triangular uh, accumulation here. So probably for this last quarter of the year, we're going to have a breakout of this, and it's going to be a trending moment. Okay, so let's just go straight to let's look at the 3 weeks time frame. Okay, so we still have price here, we still have this fair value gap, but now if we're expecting higher prices for the dollar, could also see that there's a possibility that this guy might want to come lower. Seeing this fair value gap here, this low, we could have a stop hunt into this fair value gap here. Remember also the 3 weeks fair value gap on the dollar index and price. This is a flagship reversal candle here. This one we have that's a flagship reversal candle, and we have price retesting this as another block price already closed below, invalidating that. So from here, we could say that we want to see more lower prices down into this fair value gap, taking out the liquidity below this low into filling this fair value gap here. So 3 weeks, we could say we are bearish. The price was reacting to this, but the momentum wasn't that high as price had to close back like this. So let's look at it on the weekly time frame. Okay, trying to look at it on the weekly time frame, we had this on June 2024, June 24, no, 10th of June. All right, 10th of June had gave us a volume gap, and yesterday we managed to trade back up into that volume gap. All right, feeling it, and price looks bearish at the moment. So let's go to the daily. Now, within the volume gap, we had this bearish order block on the daily time frame. So price went up to the volume gap, and we closed back as a contraction. We could say that we still expect lower prices from here. Also, this was an SMT, because when you look at this high, when you look at this particular position on the dollar index, dollar did not take this low. It did not take the high of this particular candle, the low of this particular candle. So this was an SMT trap into this volume gap here on Euro USD. So at this point, we can expect more lower prices from here. All right, till price takes out completely this trend line liquidity that we have here too. Okay. Once that is taken out, we could expect prices maybe to come right down to taking this low into the 3 weeks fair value gap right there. Okay. Also trying to look at this time frame here, we actually we had a shift here. This and then this is an optimal trade entry from this price range here. Okay, this price range. So we expect, this is what I mean. Okay, we had an optimal trade entry based on this other block, and then at least this swing leg should come much lower down, taking this low into the sell side liquidity. Now, what if that doesn't happen? Remember, we also having we've been very flexible to know that if A doesn't happen, there should be B. Now, what are the possibilities that we could not have price selling? It would be if price is reacting to this other block, we might want to see more higher prices. But at this point, for that to happen, it will mean price taking these contraction candles higher and closing above it. If we have price close above this contraction candle, then definitely we coming up to this high to retest back this other block here. Okay, so if price would close above this previous daily high, then we are coming up to retest this other block here. So but I don't really want to see that. I want to see this high, have this contraction maintained, and price should continue to sell more to the downside. Okay, so looking at this, if price takes the low of this here, it will validate this to be a mitigation, and or expect price to do something like this, retest it, and then will continue lower. So that's it for Euro USD. Let's look at GBP USD. Now, looking at GBP USD, we had the same thing, price taking previous monthly high on the monthly time frame. And when that happened, price had to close below the closing price for the last 2 months. And already we've created a high here. And we can see from every indication here that price is coming for the previous monthly low after it traded up to this point. So looking at the 3 weeks time frame also, on this particular time frame, we have price still trapped also in a consolidation. And at this point, we also have from sell side liquidity, you could say one price to come to. Now, the moment that price invalidated this other block here, all right, and the fact that it didn't go back up again to take this high, this shows this is a low resistance liquidity run, and price may want to be targeting that area. Okay, so we're also acting from this area of fair value gap. So remember, higher time frames are still caught up in the contraction or in consolidation. So whatever we are doing, we know that we are trying to trade the lower time frame delivery, not higher time frame because of this consolidation. So we're having a good setup here. Price retested this other block after giving us this shift in market structure right here. We had price come back, retest this other block, and what happened is after the retest, we had another shift in market structure, and price was able to come right up to the premium of this whole trading range. And from there, we are rejecting this particular week, close a reversal candle, and the next couple of weeks we're expecting more bearishness. And now we had a bearish contraction, and the price has taken the high of that candle, and we are almost targeting this low too. Going down to the daily time frame. All right, it's the same thing that happened on Euro USD price making a stop hunt. Remember, this stop hunt is seen only on Euro USD and GBP USD. Right, so that's an SMT. So currently looking at GU, we expect prices at least to come down to this BC right here. So we have this is a 1-day BC. We have this 1-day BC, at least price should come down to this level. You can see the bearish contraction that we had here. So probably we're going to expect price to, at least this should be our main target for the moment, our closest target after this SMT and the close of previous day. So looking at it from the 4-hour perspective, price is already trying to push lower. Have we filled this fair value gap yet? We haven't filled this fair value gap, and this fair value gap might end up being as a breakaway fair value gap if at all price you see price closing below this low, right? So there's much bearish momentum on British pound. Let's see how it goes. But remember, we are actually bearish on this guy. We expect more lower prices into the 1-day BC. Also 4-hour has a fair value gap down here. So we're more interested in sales at this point. So let's look at gold quickly. I don't know. I don't want this video to be too long. Okay, so looking at gold mainly on the 1-week time frame, we are also trapped in a very tight consolidation. The 1 month we have we closed the previous month as a contraction. Definitely we are expecting an expansion next. And looking at the monthly time frame, the closest point we can expect an expansion to is back to internal range liquidity. Remember, the market books from external range liquidity to internal range liquidity and vice versa. We had price take out this external range liquidity at this point. This relative triple highs here, and at this point, this consolidation, you likely see price at least coming back for this internal range liquidity. Looking at it based on the 3 weeks, we also had a contraction candle for the last 3 weeks. Okay, and then you should go to the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame price gave us a nice reaction from this other block. Okay, so we had price take out this high, which was coming in at we had price took out this high, came back lower to this point. So we expect at least lower prices to at least take this low, right? So looking at it too on the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame, we had price come back, price came back right up to this other block. Okay, and from there we had a bearish reversal or a bearish engulfing candle. This makes this high our invalidation for any buying opportunities. So price should not take that high if we are still to go lower into this fair value gap here. If we're to come to the monthly fair value gap, okay, then price should not take the high of this reversal candle here. So all the same, price is still expecting this other block. So from here, we could still get for lower prices. But remember how gold is. If you are to trade gold on lower time frames, no, it can be very manipulative. So you just need to have an idea of where the higher time frame is going, and you can likely trade it on at least 1 hour. All right, so this is where we're expecting it to trade. Let's go to 4 hour. Now we had this as a breaker block here. Okay, so we have price trading on this breaker. Remember, gold respect breakers a lot. So at this point, we can expect at least more lower prices from gold here. Okay, can expect price to at least, if it closes below this point, something like that, will give us the confirmation we need for more selling opportunity. Okay, so that's for gold, right? So I didn't want to make this video long, so I'm going to be, let's quickly look at Bitcoin from the daily chart. So Bitcoin here, looking at it, let's start from the weekly time frame. So we're expecting Bitcoin to respect this other block here and move higher, but price had to reject below it, and then this is where we are right now. So looking at it on the daily time frame, I think I mentioned this to someone that if price is closing above this high, the high of this candle, if we get a close above this high, then price should continue higher. But if not, then we should continue lower, we have more sell side liquidity. All right, we have a lot of sell side liquidity. That price might want to come down here for a bit. In this case, price was just coming back to mitigate this last down close candle. So let's see if price respects this fair value gap here. Price respects this fair value gap, and then we have a push to the upside. A close above this will give us more momentum to go to the upside, which will be making this candle and institutional candle taking out stops from this low. So that's for but if you don't have a close above this, then it should continue lower because your price had to take this low. All right, looking at other cryptocurrency pairs, price didn't invalidate this other block like Ethereum and others. Price did not invalidate this one, invalidate this other block. This means this is likely a stop hunt movement. So we should expect higher prices from this fair value gap and this other block here. But if this price doesn't close above this candle, then we would have more lower prices that will come down to take this low and more. Let's quickly look at US 32. All right, so looking at this particular chart here, let's let's go straight to 3 weeks time frame. Now, having in mind that US 30 is more of a trending pair, we had price sold badly from this last three couple of weeks. Let's go straight to the weekly time frame. Okay, so we have price trying to reject from this other block, which took out this liquidity here. Okay, took out this liquidity above this high. Now, this doesn't mean we are bearish because price has actually it has gone far above old price action, so we don't know where price is reacting based on. So this is just a big figure level, which is 40,000 here that price is currently reacting to. So at the moment, price is rejecting from this other block. I won't say I expect lower prices until price takes this lower rate. So if prices can even come down to take the low of this previous weekly candle, closing below it will mean some lower prices, and price at that moment we will have price come right down to take the low of this candle here. Okay, we'll have prices come down to take the low of that candle. So we should also have these equal lows at this point. All right, so okay, let's see what that we got to have here. So still have this price respect to this other block. This is only for lower prices, right? But for price to come down to take this relative equal lows down to this fair value gap, we want to see price take the low of this bullish candle. Why? It's going to make this candle a bullish order block, and it's going to act like a resistance to price. And then we're going to see price come below it. So as it's going back up, it's going to find resistance at this area, and we can come down now to this whole inefficiency. But if this low is maintained, then this should continue to support prices to move higher. All right, so that's it for the pairs we're looking at them for today. So if you have any other pair you want me to check, you can simply leave it on the comment section. And I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned something new. Don't forget to give a like or give a comment, and you share it as well to your friends. Thank you guys for watching.